aldermen, ladies and gentlemen. Please be upstanding for the worshipful, the Mayor of Surrey Heath.
Good evening. I would like to welcome the High Sheriff, members, aldermen, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, to the annual meeting of the Council and mermaking. I would now like to invite the Reverend Andreas Sistig of St Anne's Church, Bagshot, to lead us in prayer.
Lord, as we gather here tonight, it is with gratitude and thankfulness for the work that you enable us to do across our borough. We give you thanks for the work, ministry, enthusiasm and joy Valerie has brought to her role as Mayor over the last year. We pray that the work she has done will continue to prosper and flourish under the guidance and leadership of Dan, our Mayor-elect. And so we pray. Lord, for this past year, your love has kept and guided, urged and inspired us, cheered us on our way, sought us and saved us, pardoned us and provided. Lord, for this past year, we bring our thanks today. Lord, for ourselves in living power remake us, self on the cross and Christ upon the throne, past put behind us, for the future take us, Lord of our lives, to live for Christ alone. A God from whom all holy desires, all good counsels and all just works do proceed. Give unto thy servants that peace which the world cannot give, that both our hearts may be set to obey thy commandments, and also that by thee we, being defended from the fear of our enemies, may pass our time in rest and quietness, through the merits of Jesus Christ our Saviour. Amen.
Thank you, Andreas. Members, please be seated. Right. Item 1, to elect the Mayor for the ensuing year. Can I have nominations for the position of the Mayor for the ensuing year? Over this.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I will be proposing Councillor Dan Adams.
Thank you, Councillor Deach. Do you have a seconder?
I'm pleased to second that, Madam Mayor.
Thank you. Members, are there any other nominations? If there are no other nominations, Councillor Deach, would you like to speak to your nomination?
Madam Mayor, Aldermen, members and guests, it's a huge honour to propose to this annual meeting of the Council my good friend and colleague, Councillor Dan Adams, as the 46th Mayor of the Borough of Surrey Heath. I guess I've played a part in the fact that Dan is stood before us all today with his family, friends and colleagues to have the honour of representing the borough as the Mayor of Surrey Heath bestowed upon him. You see, Dan and I are like-minded souls in many respects. For one, we share a love of social media. In fact, Dan and I met over the internet. Some might say a bromance of sorts. But we did not meet on the dating site Tinder. In fact, our friendship was struck up on Twitter 2 years before we actually met face to face. If I remember correctly, it was at the very first meeting I persuaded Dan to seek selection by the Conservative Party and stand in the 2015 borough elections. I'm so glad he did, as he has been a fantastic councillor representing the ward of St Paul's, along with his good friends councillors Bill and Viv Chapman. And what a great team they make. So, for those of you who don't know Dan as well as I do, I just want to tell you a little bit about his background. Dan has lived in Surrey almost all of his life, with the exception of several years living and working in Spain. He was born at Dorking Hospital and was one of the last babies ever delivered there before it was closed down. I don't think we should take that personally, Dan. Dan's parents, Bob and Pauline, are here this evening, so I'm sure this has to be one of their proudest moments. Most of Dan's time in Surrey has been right here in Camberley, and both his sons Kieran and Harry were raised and went to Camberley schools. Kieran and Harry are both here this evening, and I'm sure they are justifiably proud of their father. One little known fact about Dan is that he was privileged to attend the funeral of Mother Teresa and, by special invitation, and feels blessed to have touched her hand. Anyone who follows Dan's social media will know he is a penchant for flamboyant attire. His snakeskin cowboy boots are a particular favourite of mine, and I can't wait to see him rock up at a mayoral engagement in them. The other thing Dan and I have in common is that we both have businesses in the social media space, and I'm sure his expertise in social media will ensure he is the most digitally active mayor we have ever seen in Surrey Heath. I recommend you follow him on Twitter and Facebook to see his charitable endeavours during his mayoral year. Speaking of which, Dan is one of the most benevolent people I have ever met. It seems that he is constantly involved in some harebrained scheme to raise money for charity, like his bike ride round the M25, for instance, with his brother Steve, who finished not just an hour or even 2 hours, but a whole day ahead of Dan. It really was a whole day. I was at the finish line to welcome Dan back to Camberley on completion of the ride, and I still chuckle to myself at the thought of him getting off his bike and proceeding to walk like John Wayne. No doubt we will see plenty of madcap fundraising schemes during his mayoral year, which I'm sure will be a lot of fun and that we will all support. Dan's brilliant use of social media in the ward has made a considerable contribution in bringing about community cohesion in St Paul's, and even inspired Councillor Mrs Chapman to get active on social media herself. Rumour has it that even Councillor Mr Chapman is considering giving social media a go to help him with his council activities. I think Dan has played a big part in helping shape St Paul's as one of the top performing wards in terms of digital engagement. Before I finish up, I just wanted to recognise our new mayoress, Mrs Sarah Adams, who I am sure everyone will agree will bring a touch of class to the 46th mayoral year. Sarah loves to have fun, so I'm sure she will lighten up any room while accompanying the mayor throughout the course of his duties and on behalf of this council. Both Dan and Sarah are two of the nicest and most community-spirited people you could ever wish to meet. I'm certain they will have the most successful of mayoral years, and not only will the whole community fall in love with them, but they will both be incredible representatives to our wonderful borough. Thank you.
Councillor Deach. Councillor Mrs Chapman, as seconder, would you like to speak to the nomination?
Thank you. It's a great pleasure to second the proposal for Dan Adams to become Surrey Heath's mayor for this forthcoming year. I'm delighted to see his family and friends, colleagues here tonight, along with, I understand, his sister and nieces who've flown in today from America. Dan is an excellent ambassador in our community, and I welcome the fact that he and Sarah will be able to spend so much more time getting to know a bit more of the community, because I'm learning this all the time, Dan, and spend more time doing this. Have fun, Dan and Sarah, and I wish you a magical and year with many, many happy memories.
Thank you, Councillor Chapman. Members, Councillor Bates.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I'm grateful for you allowing me to speak tonight.
I wish to start by stating and noting this is your last duty as Mayor, and both personally and on behalf of my group, I'd like to formally thank you for the year that you've had, the time of your year of service, and it's one that I think you've delivered with good humour and good grace, firmly committed to the residents of this borough. And during this year, and to no one's surprise, you've done this in your own way, in your own style, and you've not been afraid to challenge all of us when needed. And I look forward to hearing more of that on your return now to alternative roles within this council. And I hope it's a trait that all future mayors, whether Dan and others, will continue in a non-political capacity in due course. Madam Mayor, turning to this year, we have privately advised some time ago that regrettably we're not able to support this nomination. And we've done that privately, and that's not for discussion tonight, the reasons why. But what we do want to do and make very clear and publicly confirm both to Dan and to this council that all duly elected mayors deserve the respect of this council, and that will be given by our group. And I want to reaffirm that tonight, whilst undertaking those duties in this particular role. And I'll do my best as group leader to ensure that that happens. And I hope and pray that he'll use his year wisely. I'm sure that he will, in light of his own life experiences and that of others. And I know his first engagement is tomorrow morning when he should be meeting local clergy. Now, hopefully not a tough audience. And I know they're really keen to hear about those future plans. So whilst not noting our position, I of course congratulate him and his family on this very special night, and hope that he has a successful year.
Thank you, Councillor Bates. Members, Councillor Dan Adams has been nominated as the Mayor for the ensuing year. All those in favour, please indicate by raising your hand. All those against?
Motion's carried.
And any abstentions? Thank you. Thank you.
Motion's carried. Motion's carried.
Thank you. I declare Councillor Dan Adams elected as Mayor for the Borough of Surrey Heath for the ensuing year. Can I ask the Chief Executive to invite the new Mayor to make the declaration of acceptance of office?
I, Dan Adams, having been elected to the office of Mayor of the Borough of Surrey Heath, declare that I take that office upon myself and will duly and faithfully fulfil the duties of it according to the best of my judgment and ability.
Okay, members, ladies and gentlemen, I can confirm that this declaration was made and subscribed before me, the proper officer of the council.
Thank you. Firstly, I must answer a burning question on all of your lips. No, the robes haven't been taken up. Council, thank you for electing me as Mayor. I am both honoured and humbled to represent our great, vibrant and diverse borough as its 46th Mayor. I'm looking forward to working with each and every one of you, along with officers and staff, for the betterment of Surrey Heath and its residents. I would like to thank Paul and Vivian for their extremely kind words, although at times I wasn't sure that you were talking about the right person. I can't let this moment pass without thanking Valerie. Her help and guidance throughout my apprenticeship year has been invaluable. I still can't believe that we're not going to be working together as closely and gone are our sometimes hilarious Tuesday meetings. But as I leave my year as deputy, I leave having made a great new friend. As I stand before you, I can recall the words of our dear friend and mentor to many of us, Alan Cleverley, who, as I left the count following my election as borough councillor, said to me, "Next stop, Mayor Dan." Well, Alan, to coin a phrase, that's another fine mess you got me into. I take this responsibility and the trust you have shown in me very seriously. I commit to serving the people of the borough of Surrey Heath to the best of my abilities with enthusiasm, compassion and devotion to our community. I would now like to ask my Mayoress, Mrs Sarah Adams, to come to the dais so that I can vest her with the chain of office. I would like to move a vote of thanks to Councillor Valerie White for all her efforts during her mayoral year. So thank you very much, Valerie, and your Mayor's consort. Members, please join me in thanking Valerie and David for the past year. I would now like to present Valerie with the past Mayor's badge of office. I would now like to ask the Mayor's consort, Mr David White, to approach the dais. And I would like to present David with the past Mayor's consort's badge of office and this bottle of wine.
That's a nice walk here, isn't it? That's an improvement.
Valerie, on behalf of the Council, I would like to present you with this gift.
Thank you.
Members, I will not be appointing a chaplain for my mayoral year. I will instead be inviting celebrants from various faiths to council meetings during the year to guide the council in its work. I would like to now invite the Civic Events Officer to present the mayoral yearbook to Councillor Valerie White. I now invite Valerie to say a few words about her past mayoral year.
as usual, you'll be glad to know I haven't planned anything, so it will be short and sweet as usual. I would like to thank, though, and I can't believe I'm doing this, my husband, for stepping up to the mark for the last year. He didn't have a clue what he was letting himself in for. I obviously did. But he supported me every step of the way, and I thank you completely for that. Thank you. There's another lady here who I have to thank, who is Tina. Tina Carney, sat over there. She is my partner in crime in Bagshot. We have a reign of terror in Bagshot, and that's me and Tina. And we've run, over the last few years, Bagshot events. We haven't done much Bagshot events this last year because of me being there. I just haven't had the time. But Tina's been there every step of the way to listen to me if I need to talk to someone, or shout to someone, or just sit quietly and take the moment. So thank you, Tina. As I say in every speech, I've had an amazing year. The people I've met, the places I've been, everything has been new, maybe not so new, but the people have always been amazing. And I can't thank the organisations that have welcomed me into their premises, into their events and everything. It's just been brilliant. Is Cheryl here? Cheryl? Cheryl, right. The other lady I'd like to thank is Cheryl de Cruz. I won't say she sits quietly in the background and helps. She's in your face the whole time, but I need that. And she has helped with the charities throughout the year, so thank you very much, Cheryl. Couldn't have done it without you. Thank you. And you'll be pleased to hear that's all I'm going to say. And just thank you very much for choosing me to be mayor last year and accepting me and supporting me, and just good luck to Dan. I hope he enjoys it half as much as I have. Thank you.
Item 2, to appoint the Deputy Mayor for the ensuing...
No, I've got another bit. I've got another bit. Right, I would like to thank Reverend Andreas Sistig of St Anne's Church, Bagshot, for the excellent job he's done as my chaplain. Again, he has been another ear for me, and he has listened when I've needed to speak to someone like him. So, if you would like to come up and receive the gift. Thank
you. Now item 2. To appoint the Deputy Mayor for the ensuing year. Can I now have proposers for nominations for Deputy Mayor?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'd like to nominate Councillor Perry.
Do you have a seconder?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I would like to second Councillor Perry.
Are there any other nominations? Councillor Brooks, would you like to say a few words on your nomination?
Thank you very much. I would like to say just a few words. It gives me great pleasure to propose Robin Perry, my fellow Town Ward Councillor, as Deputy Mayor. He has been a stalwart for the community for many years, and I know will be a great support to the Mayor, ably assisted by the lovely Jill. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Brooks. Would the seconder, Councillor Little, like to say a few words?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Well, that is quite short, so I too have known Councillor Perry, Robin and his wife for a few years as well. But I can honestly say that his work and contribution to our local community, society, and also here on the council has been extremely strong over the last few years. And I'm sure he will accompany you, Mr. Mayor, in great work over the coming year. And I look forward, I'm sure, with all of the rest of you, in seeing that come to fruition. Thank you very much.
Members, Councillor Robin Perry has been nominated as Deputy Mayor for the ensuing year. All those in favour, please indicate by raising your hand. Thank you. I'm delighted to declare Councillor Robin Perry elected as the Deputy Mayor of the Borough of Surrey Heath for the ensuing year and invite him to come up to the dais. I would like to ask the Chief Executive to invite Councillor Robin Perry to make the declaration of acceptance of office.
Thank you. I, Robin Perry, having been elected to the office of Deputy Mayor of the Borough of Surrey Heath, declare that I take that office upon myself and will duly and faithfully fulfil the duties of it according to the best of my judgment and ability.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. I can declare that this declaration has been made and subscribed before me, the proper officer of the Council.
I now invest Councillor Robin Perry as my Deputy Mayor and welcome him to the role. I would now like to invite the Deputy Mayor to say a few words.
Mr Mayor, members, aldermen, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. Firstly, I would like to thank all of those who proposed, seconded and supported the vote that led to my appointment. I'm obviously very pleased and honoured to become your Deputy Mayor. I'm also very conscious of the obligations that go with the job. I will be doing my best to be a good ambassador for the borough and to provide my fullest support to the Mayor in what I'm sure will be a very busy and exciting year. Thank you.
I would now like to ask Mrs Jill Boxall to approach the dais so that I can invest her as the Deputy Mayoress. Sarah and I have thought long and hard about which charities to choose, and with there being so many amazing charities doing incredible work, unfortunately we can't choose them all. During our deliberations, we decided that choosing charities close to our heart with a personal link would be the best way forward. This year, the Surrey Heath Mayor's charity will be supporting 3 charities. Sarah sadly lost her mum, Diane, at an extremely young age from secondary breast cancer. Much of her treatment was carried out at Frimley Park Hospital, and as such we have chosen Frimley Health Trust Breast Cancer Ward, who improve lives through providing life-changing equipment and services to those suffering. I grew up with a member of my family suffering from epilepsy and am therefore all too aware of the stigma attached to those diagnosed with this illness. Our second charity is the Meath charity in Godalming, who offer a world of possibilities for people who live with complex epilepsy and associated disabilities. Finally, many of you are not probably aware, but I spent as a child a great deal of time living in Dar es Salaam, Tanzania. During my childhood here, I learnt from a young age to get along with everyone with whom we share our planet, regardless of race, colour or creed. I firmly believe that without my having this experience as a child, I would not be standing before you today. Our third charity, Health Amplify, is a charity which educates and supports the community in Kikavu, Tanzania, to overcome the issues of poor healthcare, malnutrition, disease and dental hygiene. I hope that during my mayoral year I will be able to give something back to the country that gave me so much. In closing, it's with thanks to Councillor Wilnicki that I've just learned that huge congratulations are due to Camberley Rugby Club. This season they've won one promotion, won a junior club title with winning at Twickenham no less, with a score of 63 points to 14. Two members of the club have also recently won Commonwealth bronze medals recently in Australia. I think you'll all agree that's a great hat-trick of success. That concludes the business of the annual meeting of the Council. I would like to invite you, members and your guests to join me in the members' room for refreshments. Thank you.
Thank you.